tell us a little bit more about, because obviously you work with a ton of people. We're one of your clients from the VA side of things that you have outsourcing, and then you have business coaching that you work with people to be able to tap into those things. What are a couple of the things that people have in place that holds them back from that? Not only just their mindset and preconceived beliefs, but what are some things they're doing in their businesses, like tangibly, that does hold them back from tapping into those three key areas?
Yeah, it's a great question. The first thing I notice is that, you spoke about getting clear on what they actually want. Most business owners, they go into a business going, cool, I'm going to bake bread. And then they end up doing everything else. And they forget to just have a conversation with themselves and stop and go, oh, I just want to bake bread. I just need to come back and bake bread again and get everything else handled. So yeah, what they're doing, and a symptom of this, if you're listening to this, if this is you, is being scattered, wearing 100 different hats. And I think that's kind of normal because you're the person in the business that probably cares the most. So you want things to be done well and you pick up everything and take it on board. But yeah, they're not stopping to review that, first of all. And then the next thing is, which is usually a symptom of fear of letting go, is they're constantly repeating this cycle of hiring people who are never good enough. Yeah.
Yeah. People do that all the time.
Yeah. I try, and when they talk to me, I'm like, yeah, but have you tried hiring? I've already tried it. It doesn't work. And I'm like, so you're telling me there's all the 7.5 billion other people in this world, none of them are good enough to do that thing that you want done. Like, you're the only one that can do it. And, but it's the fear of letting go and not having the skill set to understand how to effectively delegate something to someone, to get other people to do exactly what you want them to do.
Yeah, I think that's hugely important. And yeah, people say it all the time. It's like, oh, but they didn't do it as well as I could or anything like that. And I'm a big fan of Extreme Ownership, Jocko Willink's book.
Yeah, I love that
and
book.
Going through that. And it's like, well, if someone didn't, by taking ownership from that, it's like, if someone didn't do it to what you think would be the best level to actually have it done at, it's like, well, did you give them everything that was needed to do that? I remember chatting with one of our mastermind guys about this, and he was like, well, I did this, and this. And I was like, great. And I was like, but think about how you're actually communicating that with them. It's like, you set them up for failure from the beginning, because then every time as well, when they had an issue, what they would do is they would just say, cool, like, just do this then. But I was like, but then how are you expecting them to think critically when every time you solve the problem for them, and then you wonder why they can't solve problems? Like it's like you got exactly what you asked for.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Yeah. I actually had a huge realization lately, or a learning around that for myself, because I would say I'm a master at getting people to do what I want them to do. I would really own that and say that. But I put Tessa, our operations manager, into my business coaching course recently. And she came through it, and out the other side, I have such a better business now, because we forget that when we're sharing a task or a project, that person doesn't have the context of your decades of years of experience or all of that information that goes into the words. And so by bringing her into my course, I was able to just share all of that with her in a way that I never have before. And so suddenly there's greater alignment between us and our entire team. And now I've got someone who, we have even more intimacy in the way that we can communicate in the business and get things done.